Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Welcome into the next edition of Missing the Point. I am Hollywood Ray with my guy, Real BK Bob Kelly. It's playoff season, baby. So how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It feels good to be home in your own feet. It feels good to be talking about basketball playoffs again, man. It's a good time. It's a good time in general.
Yeah, obviously, our Celtics are killing it, but like I said, we're going to speak about the NBA as a whole. So, we'll start with the Western Conference, because I feel like the Eastern Conference is definitely better, and they have more teams that are better top to bottom. So we'll get into that. But yeah, starting with the Western Conference, obviously, Phoenix ran away with this. They have been, they did an overall number 1 seed, for either conference. So they'll have home court throughout, but they most likely going to face the winner of the Clippers and whoever the 9th or 10th seed is in the West. So, just starting with that team there, does Phoenix sweep that team? Do you think they go 6? Like, what do you think happens there?
Yeah, no, they're going to sweep them. Listen, this Phoenix Suns team is honestly one of the best regular season teams that has ever existed in the NBA in terms of metrics, in terms of wins, in terms of just overall dominance throughout the season, man. It doesn't matter who they go up against, honestly, especially if it's the Clippers, because they're just a bunch of choke artists. I don't think it really matters. I do know that Phoenix Suns team, man, is by far the best team in that Western Conference, in my opinion. I don't think it's even close. So, yeah, I think they end up sweeping them at most if it's the Clippers. I know I just said they're choke artists. But if it is the Clippers, I think that they can get one because they do have Paul George. It's possible a shell of Kawhi could come back. I know he's been injured. But I think it's possible that they go 5. But, man, that Suns team is so good. So good.
Yeah, easily. obviously, to go back into the archives, obviously the last time I think they both won in the West might have been 2010, I think. And, they ended up...
The Amari days?
Yeah, Amari days. Obviously, they had the number 1 seed back in the, early 90s when Charles Barkley, got there, and they ended up losing in the finals to Chicago. So, they have had some seasons when they've been really prominent in the NBA. And I think this is the best record their franchise ever had. I think they were 65-17. So, I feel like you've got to get to the finals at least the Western Conference Finals for people to even remember this season the way that it should be remembered.
No, they gotta get to the finals. If they lose before the finals, bro, it's a failure of a season, right? I mean, if the Celtics won 64 games and were by far the best team from beginning to end of that season and lost before they got to the finals, would you ever think that season would be salvaged in terms of your opinion of it?
So, since you asked me that, granted, it's a little different because KG got hurt that year. They go 62-2. I think they were 44-18 when he got hurt. They go 18-2 to close out. And, they go 7 with Chicago, obviously go 7 with Orlando. And at that time, they had not lost a game 7 in Boston. Hito Turkoglu and the company go crazy and they ended up losing that. So, yeah, in that case, yes, I was pissed off. They should have at least gotten to the conference finals. That's what they would have beat LeBron again, in my opinion, that year. But that's another show for another day. But, yes, to your point, yes, Jared, you were absolutely right. They have to at least make a finals appearance. Once again, it is hard to win a championship. Yeah, they were 2 games away, from being champions last year. But Chris Paul coming in healthy after having an injury, thankfully it happened in the regular season and not, in the second round. So they just got to keep plugging along. Now, if you're getting, 2019 Kawhi, him and PG may be enough to at least push that series to 6 or 7 because of how they are offensively and what they can do, defensively in between Covington, Powell, Nick Batum, which is wild that he's had a resurgence, right? So shout out to Ty Lue for that. Nicholas Batum was dead in the water. Basically was becoming another Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, he was in Washington and he was right?
No, he was in Charlotte. He was in
Charlotte, that's what it was.
Yeah. So that was awesome. So, you know what I'm saying? So he was, you know, he got the $120 million. So shout out to the agent. And, you know, the rest was history. But needless to say, Phoenix should definitely, you know, get it done. And I'm looking forward to see where they do come playoff time. So
wait, can I ask you one question about Clippers? When did Tyronn Lue become referred to as the Bill Belichick of basketball? Listen, the announcers alluded to this a few times last night, and I don't know if you heard it or not, but like it got mentioned more than once. So is that, have you heard that before? I'm just because I'd never heard it before, and I couldn't believe that they said. I was like, did they just fucking call Ty Lue the Belichick of basketball? What happened?
Yeah, I missed that because I was at my second job, but that's wild. Once again, he is a phenomenal young coach. So I don't want to get it twisted to make it seem like I'm blasting him, because that's not the case. But you know, this level says yes, he's won a ring. You know, he's been to a couple of finals as a coach, right? But to say that he's that, like, now if you want to compare him to Popovich, but even that, he's not that guy. There's a few guys that have won one. You know, there's so many that have won none. But I think if he was to win one in LA, then I think maybe that changes what people's perception is. I think what it is, people are saying regardless of what you give him, he makes lemons out of lemonade, right? So I mean, he makes lemonade out of lemons. So they're terrible all year. I'm not terrible, but they've been injury ridden all year, right? PG's been out, Kawhi's been out. So I think that's where the comparisons come from. So I just think that's where they are trying to draw the comparison. Once again, I hope they don't strain anything from that. It is a reach. They're stretching. That's a big stretch.
Right? Yeah.
You know, they might hurt an oblique muscle doing that. So, you know, we'll see. But once again, phenomenal coach. But let's pump the brakes to saying that he's already in that category, because once again, I feel like he has a long way to go to get there. But who knows? He may be in the Hall of Fame someday after he's done.
Fair enough.
Right. Yeah. We'll see. So. Yeah, so next, you know, Grindhouse 2.0 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So who do you got in that one?
Man, I absolutely love this Memphis team. I love them. Even without Ja the past few months, man, or the past few weeks, they've still just been dominant. They just play great basketball. And you know how I feel about great basketball, bro. It's such a, they don't turn the ball over. They play great defense and they create great shots. You know what I mean? They literally do. When you think about the fundamental of basketball checklist, that's how you do it, man. And they check off all the boxes. And then if you add in a Ja Morant, that electric playmaker, to this culture, or to whatever they got going on there, because honestly, like, you look up and down their roster, man, Memphis isn't like, yeah, they're talented. They got some guys on there, but they don't have anyone on there that really jumps off the page at you. You know what I mean? Desmond Bane, awesome. Steven Adams.
I mean, besides
awesome.
Ja.
Besides Ja. Besides Ja. Ja literally jumps off the page. Yeah, he jumps off the screen. But yeah, besides Ja, they really don't have anyone else that really is a elite basketball player. You know what I mean? They have good basketball players. Mm-hmm. They don't have anyone else that great. And here they are, the 2 seed. They just play great basketball. But I gotta say, man, I love having Minnesota there. They're not going to win this series, but I love the Timberwolves are finally back in the playoffs. They had a great basketball moment last night. Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, was awesome last night. He was amazing.
Oh, so was Pat Bev out of line?
Bro, so out of line. Listen. This isn't Paul Pierce in Game 5 of the goddamn Eastern Conference Finals coming back 25 points jumping on the table, okay? You want to play in game, bro. Like, take it down one notch. Listen, you could be pumped. You can talk shit. You can be hyped, bro. The first thing you do cannot be to jump on the scorer's table. I'm sorry, man. You can't do that. Can't.
No, man, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Once again, I'm not the biggest fan of Pat Bev. I'm not. Listen, I think that he's a poor man's Marcus Smart. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm here for it. Like, and he said it. I think he said it in an interview on Twitter. Like, think about what Minnesota's been through the last few years, right?
Yeah. No,
really for sure. Last 5 to 6 years. So
since Jimmy Butler, right? Jimmy Butler?
No, I'm talking about off the court, like just.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
The Philando Castiles, oh my gosh, George Floyd. I know there's more that I'm missing, but those are the two names that stick out, right? So much that city's been through. They've been the epicenter of a lot of Black Lives Matter stuff, and just really just going crazy as a city, and really, and that kind of spreading up throughout the nation. Excuse me, as I got so
excited over there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm excited to see that, man. Once again, I think maybe that's where part of it was. Part of it was, okay, Clippers, we had a good thing running here. Like, remember, they took that Golden State team a couple years ago to 6 games with him and Lou Williams just being, basically being the offense. And that's wild because Pat Bev is not no offense in the NBA. Once again, he was great in high school, but he even had some flashes in Arkansas, before getting to the NBA. But that's what I was about. So, I mean, listen, people have been going crazy about that all day as we record this on, on a Wednesday on April 13th. But listen, I immediately laughed. Listen, plenty of players were entertained, as they should have been. He's entertaining. Once again, I can't stand him as a player, but I was thoroughly entertained. Though. I thought it was hilarious.
We already, actually, that was on our Crowworthy podcast, where we did talk about the Celtics. Everyone wants to go check about that if you want to hear Celtics stuff. JJ Redick's podcast, right? He talked about, I forgot who he was talking to. Don't remember. But he was talking about the biggest trash, Joel Embiid. He was talking to Embiid. And he was talking about the biggest trash talkers in the NBA, right? And he said something like, Joel led the line. If guys are going to talk trash, I at least like them to back it up. And he's like, I'm not going to name names. And JJ stops and was like, I'm going to name it for you. Right? And he goes, huh? He goes, Pat Bev. And Joel just started dying laughing, bro, because it was Pat Bev. He was 100% talking about Pat Bev. This dude talks like he is a top 5 player in the NBA. And he's good. He's good, but he's not special. And it's just so funny to me, man. It just, listen, Pat Bev is it's like Manny being Manny. Pat Bev is going to be Pat Bev. And he's going to continue to be this guy for the rest of his career. So I guess we just got to enjoy it. You're right.
But it's like that those antics is what's kept him in the league, though. And that's what we forget.
It is. It's true.
We're like that. Those antics, that fire, that irrational confidence, like that's what's kept him in the league this long. So, he's bounced around. So whether it's in Houston, LA, obviously now here in Minnesota, which basically got dealt to be exiled, right? Like, in basketball terms, let me not be so crazy that city exiled in basketball terms. Whoa,
posted out.
Yeah, so to the city limits, right? But he I mean, he's found a way, and it really is proof that when you have one veteran that's been battle tested, that's really had to get off the mud, as they say now of days, it's a sugar down effect, because Karl Anthony Towns was not talking that greasy before Pat Bev got there. And once again, he played with Jimmy, but he was 2021 when Jimmy got there. So now, he's 25, 26 now, a little more of a man. Unfortunately, he had the tragic death of his mom. So some other things have kind of changed him mentally and how he exactly. Made him grow up real quick, right? Shout out to Jordan Woods too. Hey, Jordan, how are you? That also helps, right? That also helps the cause. But I just think that, you get a guy that's that spicy and it cares about winning that much. It trickles down to Cat. It trickles down to D'Lo. It trickles down to Anthony Edwards, Anthony Edwards is a dog. Like that, he is a certified dog.
I'm pretty sure he called himself Jesus earlier this season, didn't he?
Anyway, it's getting real holy on the court. It's getting real holy on the court. He's dropping out blessings on a regular basis. Just saying.
Let's go.
Yeah. So he's dropping out blessings on a regular. So it is very fitting that it's coming into Easter weekend. So just saying. So just saying. So, but yes, I mean, we got carried away. But yes, Minnesota's out winning the series.
Yeah, no, they're not. I'll let talk about Minnesota.
Yeah. Listen, they're not winning the series. Memphis should win this, and they should win it at 5, honestly, because Minnesota ain't been there. Those guys have not been there in a while. Well, Memphis is one of the guys that ain't been there either. This is really their first really big run, potentially.
Except for Steven Adams. He's the only one.
Right, exactly. And once again, calming, present, veteran. You know what I'm saying? Like, that matters. And I thought that was huge when they got him in the offseason. Even though they loved Valanciunas had been a staple there. He'd been a staple in Toronto. I sometimes forget that he was a top 10, pick. I think he went number 5, I think, in 2011. That's the Kawhi draft. And I think he's been a solid player, nevertheless. But either way, we both got Memphis there, so we'll move on to the next series. So I love this series, and I'll start first on this. So Golden State and Denver. We'll get into it when we talk about who we have for a regular season award. But the job that Nikola Jokić has done has been nothing short of amazing. To lose Murray, to lose MPJ, to have a part-time starter in Aaron Gordon, and that's a shot because he's healthy. He picks and chooses when he wants to be great, unless it's a slam dunk contest, and it's annoying because he's so talented. So nevertheless, I'm excited to see what Denver is going to do, but I feel that they're going to be going home in 6 games. Golden State, looks like Curry's going to come back. Steve Kerr can say all he wants to say about, maybe he's going to do this, maybe he's going to do that. He's probably been practicing for a couple of weeks and they just haven't put it out there. Clay is going to come back, I think, going crazy. And then, a motivated Draymond, as much as I can't stand him, it's a very good Draymond. So between that, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins has figured it out there in Golden State. So yeah, they have a lot of interchangeable pieces there in Golden State. And I just think that they're really motivated to get back on the run and say, hey, a lot of y'all forgot how good this team is. We're the team that went to 5 straight finals. We're the team that would have won 5 straight if it wasn't for injury. They would have won 5 straight. So I think that they're there to reclaim and rebuild what they had. And I think they're gonna be screaming Dub Nation, come the end of the first round. So I gotta go to say the 6.
Bro, to me, it depends on what Golden State we see. This season with Golden State is a tale of 2 tapes, right? We got early season Golden State where it's Stephen Curry, Draymond Green playing like they did, 3-4 years ago now, right? Or this new Golden State who struggles to put away teams. I think they lost 20-point leads like 2 out of 3 games at one point down the stretch here. They have struggled, man. And I don't know who they have that can stop Jokić. The key is even if Jokić scores 50 points, who else is scoring for the Nuggets? You know what I mean? Jamal Murray's not walking out of the tunnel. I'm pretty sure he's been ruled out for the series. I'm not sure. And I just think, it really depends on that supporting cast in Denver because Jokić is going to be Jokić 100% of the time. There's nothing you could do, especially if your starting center is Kevon Looney. Definitely nothing you can do.
He's not a scrub, though.
He's not a scrub, but he can't stop Jokić, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's not saying much. Not many.
Right. It's not. Right. But I don't know. We'll see. Well, it depends on what Warriors show up to me. I don't know if I can make a decision until that first game, but if you had to make me pick, I think I'm going to pick the Warriors. I think if it's that team that I'm thinking, it could be as easy as 5. Because if Curry's Curry, man, the Nuggets are going to get smacked in this series. It's over. Right. It's over. If Curry is not shooting like he's accustomed to, which we see when Curry's hurt, his shooting percentage drops dramatically sometimes.
Right.
It really depends on him.
They better hope that he has a 6 for 22, but that could happen. We've seen it with Curry. Like he's either 6 for 22 or he's 13 of 19. Like there's no in between.
Yeah.
So it's like and it's not real. And out of the 14 of 19, he'll be like 12 of 16 from 3.
It's absurd.
It's like it's a joke. Like it's a joke.
Where he's turning the people in the fucking crowd before he even shoots it. He's like looking at him as he shoots.
When I was depressed, like get the fuck out of here. Like that shit why. It's out of control, man. So, but listen, I'm excited to see that series the most though. Like I said, I am a big outside of what we do for what we watch for Boston and talk about Boston. Like I am a huge Nikola Jokić supporter, and once again, that is not the last time you will hear his name on this show. I promise you that. So last but not least, we have the 4-5 matchup. We have Utah versus Dallas. So I'll let you go first. And who do you have?
I really want to pick Dallas here. And it's not because of my Cowboys allegiances. It's because of Luka Doncic, man. It really, that's what I was just going to say. It depends on Luka. Because if Luka's not there, listen, it's a no-brainer. Utah's winning this series. You know what I mean? Like, if Luka's not playing, Dallas is not good. Without Luka, Dallas might win 20 games this season. Listen, Luka's Luka. He is their team. He's what they operate around. He isn't just a 30-point a game guy. He's their offense. You know what I mean? Like everything revolves around Luka. All their screens, all their fucking movements, everything they do revolves around Luka. So you take him out of the equation, that team's going to have a lot of trouble scoring. I love Jalen Brunson. Love him to death. I love all their, who's that fucking guy? Can't think of his name. But I love that team.
Dinwiddie?
Dinwiddie. Thank you. I really like Dinwiddie. But without Luka, none of those guys are doing what they're doing. You know, and we've seen Dinwiddie be a main guy before. Right, he can be 20 a guy as your 2 or 3. You know what I mean? Dinwiddie's awesome when you put Dinwiddie in a role where he has to do that. Bro, I've seen it before. He can very easily go 0 of 9 and 1 and 0 of 4 from 3. You know what I mean? Dinwiddie's a very streaky guy. Without Luka, they're in trouble. If Luka plays, I'm picking Dallas. If Luka's not there or Luka's hobbled or it's a different Luka, you got to pick Utah, man. You have to. Just because they're full strength, they got Mitchell, Gobert, you go down the list.
You see me, I'm already shaking my head before. I don't trust Utah. I don't. I'm sorry. I can't. And once again, I love Donovan Mitchell. I think Donovan Mitchell is a supreme talent. You know, he's box office, as someone on their 4-letter network always says. He's box office. Like, he's the real deal. Once again,
Finney Smith. That was the other guy. Sorry.
Yeah, Finney Smith.
Yeah,
so I was gonna bring him up too. But yeah, like, you just, I'm supposed to be counting on Royce O'Neal, or
fair.
Am I supposed to be counting on Rudy Gobert to give me 20 and 20? Like, no, like, I'm not doing that. So once again, their offense is Donovan Mitchell or bust.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, he's going to score. He's going to get his 25 to 30 a night. But, once again, he got mad when Shaq called him out, I think in the bubble, or it might have been last year when Shaq was like, I don't think y'all going to win the championship. And he was like, all right. Okay, you saying all right. But I'm like, y'all constantly do well, constantly get the top 5 seed in the West, which is hard to do, but you're still going home in the first or second round. Granted, I know they ran into Houston a couple of times. They ran into, I think, Golden State earlier too. So obviously those teams were a lot more talented and just, everywhere, not just one, like, just, what I'm saying? Like, it was basically Donovan on like 105. I also think, and once again, it's funny, Danny Ainge is now the president of basketball operations over there, or special counsel, whatever you want to call it, but he's running the team. When they traded Joe Ingles, and once again, people will say, it's Joe Ingles. No. When you trade guys like that are great in the community, great in the locker room, and it's not scared at the moment. He was at PG's face a couple of years. Remember, he was like, you know what I'm saying? So he was talking shit to PG. He's talking shit to the crowd. Like, when you have guys like that are never going to be the best player on the team, but everyone just kind of caters to them. Not even cater, but they just really rally.
It's the glue guy, bro.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for finishing my sentences. Like, we've done this before. But it's just like that. That's just what it is. Like, you cannot. And I know he was hurt because he was hurt. So I think that's why they ended up moving him, I think, to New Orleans, I believe. I think for Nickeil Walker-Alexander. Once again, Nickeil Walker-Alexander was really good in college. Was really good. He's averaged maybe 2 or 3 more points than you and I in the NBA. Just saying. So it's just like Joe Ingles can shoot the 3. He's going to play some defense.
3.5 more.
Okay, gotcha. 3.5. Okay, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, a gram.
No, an eighth is what you want.
There you go. Cool. Sorry, I don't know.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, there you go. Nice reference. Yeah. Thanks for saving me. But yeah,
I got you.
Like, I think it just went. Needless to say, when you trade a guy like that, that hurts. Now to the Dallas side, I'm a big fan of Dinwiddie. But without Luka, I feel like they are the 2019 Brooklyn Nets. So remember, that team had Dinwiddie, LeVert, Jared Allen, D'Angelo Russell, right?
They were
and
good.
they were the 6th seed in the East. And they ended up losing to Philly in the first round that year, but
they took them to 7 though, right?
Maybe they were 7th. I don't know. They were on the lower half.
No, I meant they took them to 7, didn't they?
No, they lost to 6.
Okay, 6, yeah. But it was great. It was a great series.
It was a good series, but this is what Dallas would be, I feel like, without Luka. Jalen Brunson can hoop, Dinwiddie can hoop. Dorian Finney-Smith, and I listen, I'm this is wishful thinking because I know they're not going to do this. They just gave him an extension. He is perfect for the Boston Celtics. But once again, we'll get to that. That's how when we get to the offseason, we'll speak about some guys that could be added to the team. He is a dream cat, like, defender, hits threes, like, he's phenomenal in my opinion. In his role, he's a star in his role, as Doc Rivers used to say. But maybe this is where they miss KP. And I had a friend of mine, reach out to me earlier today about that. Maybe this is where they make Kristaps Porzingis, because he is someone that could have been a go-to guy. He easily can get you 25 when he's on. We saw it in New York, and we saw some pieces of it down here down there in Dallas. So yeah, I'm still gonna ride with Dallas. I think I just don't trust Utah. And once again, maybe just by default, like you said, because of health, they may get out the first round. But Utah to me does nothing for me. And it's weird because Utah really is just for really the last 40 years, I guess, because you go back to Stockton.
I was thinking that
they just
they can't get it done, bro.
They can't get it done. But there's only they don't have another gear they can go to offensively, right? It's just basically you give it to one or two guys and then just go from there. So, and even, so obviously it was Stockton and Malone. They had another Malone on there called Jeff Malone who played in Washington before he got there, was a really good scorer. That's a name drop for some guys there, right? So Jeff Malone, Jeff Hornacek, right? Byron Russell, that's the same team that scored 54 in the finals game, which is the worst offensive output of all time in a playoff setting. So yeah, I mean, listen, it's just been a constant thing that Utah's going to be really, really a middle of the pack team, which is the worst thing to be, because either you want to be in a contender or you want to be someone that's in the cellar so that you can get better to get back to that contender status. So, but once again, won't keep rambling. I got to go with Dallas, even though Lucas seems a bit hobbled. So we can agree, but so you said you got Phoenix coming out the West? You got Phoenix coming out the West?
Yeah, I think it's a clear. They're the best. You look down this entire roster, man. Every single team in the West has major flaws on it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like things that you're like, okay, that could kill them. That could kill them. That the only one that doesn't is Phoenix. Even without Chris Paul, bro, the last month and a half, they've looked awesome. You know what I mean? Devin Booker's now a dog. You got Paul, Ayton, Crowder. Like you just go down the list where like it doesn't matter who's on the court. They're the same team. And I think that's what great teams do. I don't think there's anyone out there. Honestly, I don't know if there's anyone in the West that can even push them to 6, man. I think they're by far and away.
I have an answer.
We'll get to it. But I think that I don't think there's anyone there. I'm intrigued to see who you think now. Who is it?
Oh, it's Golden State, bro. Golden State.
You think?
Yes, Curry. Listen, whenever Curry and Paul have got together, he has made CP3 bow down to the master.
He has.
Yeah, so it's like the time and time again. So, and if you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you: Steph Curry. I was gonna say something else. When I'm like Steph Curry, baby, like he's the man. He's the man when it comes to those two playing against one another. So, if they're healthy and they're on, once again, we just spoke about how. If he's on, that's going to be over at 5. Once again, that's a different team. The man that had him playing a twister out there, he's made him pray on the court. You name it, he's done it to him. So yeah, I'm riding with a healthy Golden State. Once again, Jordan Poole to me is just as good as Cam Johnson. Better than Jay Crowder. And once again, we've seen Jay Crowder play, but I got to give credit to Jay too. Everywhere he's been,
they win.
Outside of Dallas, because Dallas is early on in his career. Everywhere he's been, teams have been a contender. So he is a very good role player, and he's definitely a star in this role. I forgot about Miami too. When he was there in Miami, they ended up going to the finals. Phoenix goes to the finals last year, and have a chance to go back this year. So you heard it here on Mr. The Point. So Bobby got Phoenix. I got Golden State going to the finals out of the West. So
real quick,
when we get into the East,
did you know? Wait, I had a little. Did you know? I saw the stat. Chris Paul. I don't know if it can be understated how awesome this guy is. I honestly am doing this because I want him to get his championship, and I think he's going to, because it would take the only question mark off. Probably, actually, in my opinion, definitely the best point guard to ever play in the NBA, man. He's absurd how good he is at getting teams to win. He has 3 separate franchises, right? After this year, he has now led them to their best record in franchise history. There's the Hornets back in the early years. Then we have the Rockets when he was on the Rockets, and now the Suns. He is unbelievable, and I just hope this dude gets his ship. So that's why I'm riding Phoenix just for him.
Even with the Clippers,
and even the Thunder, bro. You know what he brought right to the playoffs when it's supposed to be a tanking season. It's like, bro, no matter where he goes, if Chris Paul is your point guard, you're going to win games. You cannot have this dude and expect to lose. He's unbelievable. Until you get to game 7. That's a different story. But We'll see.
But that's why I remember back in the day when they were saying, "Oh, would you?" If they were looking to trade Rondo during that Celtics,
Bro, there's a heartbeat.
Right. But I'm saying, but that was the only guy at the time. I was like, "There's no one else I'm trading Rajon Rondo for." And I know that people sound that was like, "Oh, you're crazy." I'm like, no, like Rondo shows up when it matters in the postseason at that time, and that wasn't inaccurate.
He still does.
He still does when when
playoff
right.
Rondo.
So yeah, exactly. They need a little more from him last couple nights to go against some Brooklyn Nets though. But other than that, but it's working. We get it. Yeah. So that's just that. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens. But no, let's get over to the Eastern Conference, man. So I think I'm trying to think who. Oh, obviously they're gonna face the winner of Charlotte, Atlanta.
Charlotte just lost. So Atlanta goes to Atlanta, and who's the other one?
Oh, it'd be Atlanta to Cleveland.
Cleveland. Duh. Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, yeah. Whew, okay.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't
matter. Right. It doesn't matter who's in there. But I want to see Atlanta win. I want to see Atlanta against Miami. I think that would be a phenomenal series. I think Trae Young would have whatever he wants against Miami. Because Kyle Lowry can't stay with him. Not to stay.
Doesn't have the legs anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not at all. And that neither does Duncan Robinson. Nobody on that team has the legs to stay with Trae Young. So obviously Miami, they earned the best record in the East. They had a little bit of a slip up a few weeks ago, but they seemed to right the ship a little bit. So based off whoever they face, whether it's Charlotte or not Charlotte, whether it's Atlanta or Cleveland, what do you think Miami does against them?
I don't even think we didn't talk about it that much. Miami's going to win the series. Listen, Miami's Miami's the most disrespected one seed I've ever seen. Man, it's unbelievable. It's crazy how little people are talking about this team. They scare the shit out of me, if I'm being honest. They really do, because it's that Heat culture, man. It's exactly what we're trying to build here in Boston. Exactly what we talked about for an hour on our interview with Jared Weiss, which you can find over on the Crowworthy feed. It's exactly what you want to build for a playoff basketball team. Is they just fucking win, man. And with Butler, Herro, Adebayo, with all these guys just going down the roster, man, there's no chance the Hawks or the Cavs, unless Allen comes back. But even if he comes back, he's not going to come back healthy. So there's no chance. No chance Miami is losing that first round. No.
Well, when you say most disrespect their one seed, I think that there's a team up north that we're both a fan of that was super disrespected too.
I know. I got into 2-hour arguments about it.
No, and matter of fact, they had the same record as Miami too. They both were 53-29, and it was just IT was a top 5 MVP candidate. Now, granted, it all could have went away because if Rondo doesn't get hurt, Chicago probably sweeps us in the first round. That's how bad it was. People don't remember because they beat them 4 straight after Rondo got hurt, but that series was going to be over because Rondo was out here yelling, they quit type thing. So it was tough, but obviously, we were there for the Washington series. We were both there for Game 7. That was awesome to see, but no, I see what you're saying about as far as the respect level that Miami is again. I know that on here, I know Mike is a, now I won't say resident supporter, but he respects their organization a lot and loves their toughness, because they're not mental midgets, as he was saying. So yes, I think that Miami will beat whoever they play in the first round, but it's not going to be something where they stomp all over who they play. I think if they play Cleveland, they'll dog walk them, but Atlanta will take them 6 at least.
Yeah, Atlanta's got a dog. Atlanta's got a dog. A dog can at least win you 1 or 2 games. You know what I mean? Like when you got a Trae Young, you got a Trae Young.
Right, exactly.
So Cleveland's got Darius Garland, not Trae Young.
Right, exactly. And once again, he was great the other night, but he's not someone that
he's not going to drop 54.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not scared of him going off. So exactly, perfectly said. So next, we did speak about this on the 617 show, so we won't go too much into it. But I know Bobby, you said you had the Celtics in 6, and I have the Celtics in 7. So even in 5. So
5.
Yeah, so you got him in 5. So
Celtics in 5, baby.
Yeah, Celtics 5. So I got Celtics in 7. Once again, when that drops on 617, you can hear that when that comes out. So next, we have This to me is something not even worth to talk about too because of the injuries.
Yeah.
Milwaukee versus Chicago,
bro. Milwaukee's gonna roll that.
This should be a sweep. It should be a sweep. But once again, if DeMar DeRozan is the MVP candidate people said he was or is, they should get you one at the crib. He should. He should.
It's funny it's funny you say that though, because he wasn't the MVP candidate that everyone says. He had a good 2 weeks, man. He had a good 3 weeks.
No, that's not fair. He had a good couple of months.
Okay, a good couple months. He was unbelievable. He's dropping 30. He's doing this. But like, listen, when you are 0-17, I brought this up a couple of weeks ago. I don't know what the record was from that on. But at one point this season, they were 0-16 against the top 3 teams in the East. You cannot and will not be in an MVP discussion if that is your team. I'm sorry. Because you can't be valuable if you can't beat the best teams. You know what I mean? Like, you can drop 34 all you want, bro. But if you lose by 20, it doesn't fucking matter. You know?
Right. Exactly. Right.
Zach LaVine's never been there. Lonzo's hurt. Caruso's hurt. This team is decimated. If this is full strength Chicago, it's a conversation for sure. Because that's a good team, man. You got Ball, Caruso, LaVine, DeRozan, Vucevic. It's a good squad, bro. But without Caruso, your defensive glue, right? He's their Marcus Smart. Without white Marcus Smart, I guess. Without I don't know, it just popped in my head. I don't even know why I fucking said that.
Could there's some truth to that statement, honestly?
Can't
deny it.
If they're healthy, it's a different team. But they're not.
For sure.
No, but they're not. Listen, Lonzo and Caruso are probably the 2 most important pieces. You could lose LaVine and be okay.
Right.
He disappears after the games anyways.
For sure. But, he definitely needs. Yeah, they need to regroup next year. It was good they got Patrick Williams back. Kobe White, shout out to UNC. He has some bright moments, but I feel like he's kind of got buried behind Ball and Caruso there, so they may have to move on from him in the off season. But who knows? Maybe he gets himself some money this off season if he balls out during this series. But yeah, listen, Chicago, Milwaukee is on a long flight anyways. Like they're about an hour and a half away. It's like going from Boston to New York. So vacation will start pretty soon, and you can get the couches and the tickets to Disney World and Disneyland, and you get those pretty quickly because it's definitely gonna be a 1, 2, 3 Cancun for sure. So last but not least, so you have the Philadelphia 76ers versus Toronto Raptors, and I'll start first with that. I got Toronto in 6.
Nice.
I think that Van Vliet, Siakam has been hooping. Scotty Barnes he's
my guy, man. He's my guy.
He is a problem. And if you haven't watched or seen, because we're north of the border and whatever, that man is a problem. And shout out to Nick Nurse. Like, Nick Nurse is a hell of a coach. I think that if you get drafted there as a wing, you should be ecstatic because they develop wings better than 90% of the teams in the NBA. So think about Siakam. Think about now with Scotty Barnes coming in. Think about Chris Boucher, OG Anunoby, right? So they know how.
You're right.
Yeah, so they just know how to produce at that position. And like I said, Van Vliet's been awesome. I know he went undrafted, but he's been awesome. Obviously Lowry was good when he was there for several years. So Masai Ujiri has done a masterful job with keeping that team as a contender. Well, not even a contender, I won't say contender, but just doing a really good job at keeping them afloat as a playoff team. That trade for Preston Achua, to get Goran Dragic back in that deal for Kyle Lowry, that's crazy. Like the fact that you got a top 20 pick back for that was wild. But now he's really shown what he could do. If you remember, the show that we did with Joe Sway, I was big on Preston Achua. I was like, go get this guy. I was like, Rob might get hurt. So it's funny just how that kind of just keep popping up. I was like, Rob might get hurt. Something else can happen with Rob. Preston Achua can definitely do what Rob does. Not as good, but, he can approximate. But nevertheless, we end up getting someone back that can do that. So, we're good for the time being. But yeah, needless to say, I think Toronto finds a way to get it down to 6. And I think that, Siakam, shows why he got his deal a few years back.
Yeah, for sure. I think I officially, for the record, won that Raptors argument with DK because they're a good fucking basketball team.
It always comes back to that.
They are a good basketball team, and it doesn't matter who you could put Kawhi in. With Kawhi, yes, championship basketball team, okay? You take Kawhi out, this team does the right things. And I know I've said this already on this podcast, but they play fundamental basketball. You said it best. Nick Nurse, bro. Nick Nurse is a great head coach. As long as they got Nurse, they got a chance because they play defense. They do all the right things. At the same time, I don't see Embiid losing this series, man. Listen,
Really?
I don't see it happening, bro. I think
it's Toronto. I like it.
I think with the season that he had, right? You look at everything Embiid has been through. This is more of like I'm picking Embiid over the Raptors because I just don't think he won't let it happen at this point. Embiid's not going out in the first round because he had this riff with Simmons. He had all these things go down. And it's gonna eventually get to the point where this is all clouded. Embiid's legacy. This is clouded who Embiid is as a player. Like you're gonna start talking like, oh, Joel Embiid's awesome. Yeah, but he never gets out of the first or second round. And I think he knows this at this point. I think that's why you press for the Harden deal. I think that's why there's a lot of moving pieces that are happening with Philly. You got Rivers in here. I think Philly gets out of this series, man. I think Embiid goes off. I think he scores close to 40 points a game in this series.
Here's not the problem, though.
I know he's not, but
he's not. I mean, and listen, I haven't really said it on these shows that I've been on, but I've said it to those that I have a lot of group chats with. I am a huge supporter of the young man they got at Kentucky, Tyrese Maxey.
I love Maxey. Maxey's awesome.
He is. I think he could be an all-star as early as next year. Like,
I was just saying he might already be an all-star, at least California.
Right. No, I'm saying we already passed it. I just think next year, I think and I know he plays with Harden to be, but I think he could be that third star. Because damn sure ain't J. Cole, a.k.a. Tobias Harris. It's not him. So, but damn sure ain't Danny Green, once again, and that hurts me. I'm a Tar Heel. That hurts. But he's no longer that guy. If they lose earlier this season, like I said, I think they go home now. Go to Erie and Germantown, right, Danny? Go to this place called Max's. They got some of the best cheesesteaks out there. Get on the Broad Street train, right? Head to the airport. Happy trails. That's what I need you to do, Danny, because it's time, brother. It's time. Once again, you've got 3 rings, bro.
Hang it up, bro. Yeah. 3 rings and a championship, and an NCAA championship, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And an NCAA.
And that's right, baby. Shout out to Solid Hansborough. But you know what I'm saying? You've had a great run. It's time. It's time. Them jump shots are no longer falling the way it's supposed to. So it's it's all good. But yeah, I believe that Maxey will show up. I believe that but that's the only guy I really believe will show up besides Embiid. So, and remember, they lose Tybal for games 3 and 4 because
he's not vaccinated.
Yeah. So it's just like, we're not fully vaccinated. I think he is. He's just not fully vaccinated. So it's just like, if that's the case, and you lose once again, we just talked about their wings being crazy at Toronto. So you lose your best perimeter defender.
Yeah.
For 3 and 4. Like, Siakam's about to go stupid out there. Like, what are we talking about? Are you dumb? Like, it's a wrap. Like, it's a wrap. So Toronto is 6. Like, once again, I could be wrong. I said you should, like you said, Embiid can go for 40 or 50. Once again, the first guy since first Philly guy, since AI to win the scoring title.
First center since Shaq, right?
First center since Shaq in 99-2000 when he won MVP and they won their first ring against Indiana. So I get it. It seems in that case the stars are aligning, but I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I believe that he's going home early once again. So we'll leave it at that for our predictions. So now let's get into regular season.
You know what's hilarious? About all that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No problem.
We didn't mention James Harden once in that entire conversation.
That is not worth it.
That is the epitome of James Harden's career right there. Is we just talked all about a team that just traded all this to get him. And bro, he's been exactly what you thought he was going to be. He's fucking James Harden. He's exactly why I pleaded with you guys not to bring him to Boston. Do you remember that? You remember that one? Where
he went crazy, and we all was like, maybe.
Bro, this is the version. This is the version of Harden I was picturing.
No, but the reason why I didn't bring him up too, but I did completely forget about him. I'm not gonna be honest. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I forgot about him. That's one. 2, he's already been in playoff loop.
Yeah, bro.
He's already doing the 4 for 18s.
I was gonna say, so he's already
like, you know what I'm saying? He's already it's already 6-20.
With a lot of players, playoff mode means like he went to the next level. With James Harden, it means he sucks. In case anyone's wondering, it means he's not good anymore.
Yeah, like it's not out of control. So, and you know what? I'm glad you stopped me because I definitely forgot to say or give our prediction of who's going to come out of the West. Not the West, out the East. I'm still going to go with the defending champs. I just think that they have that confidence now. They have that pedigree now. They know when to turn it on, turn it off. And I think that the three of Drew, Middleton and Giannis, has proven to be enough. Bobby Porter has become.
Bro, what? Where did that come from?
I don't know where it come from. I don't know where it came from, honestly. I know he was the first round pick, so clearly he was talented, obviously.
Could he always shoot like this?
No.
Right? What happened?
Listen, Chicago fans got to be sick because
so sick.
He was there in Chicago. Actually, he was on a team that lost to Boston back in 2017. That was his rookie year. And it was kind of like, okay, he got potential. He could dunk a little bit. Okay, get a nice little back to the basket game. And then he gets traded to Milwaukee and becomes a poor man's Dirk, which is really good still because Dirk was a Hall of Fame talent.
A poor man's Dirk is still pretty rich.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, now he's constantly getting 16 and 10, which to me, I think it's
and knocking down jumpers too. He's not just like getting a 16 to 10 off rebounds and shit. Like he is knocking down 3-point shots and knocking down these shots. It's crazy to me, and it's still weird to see. Like I'm like, is Bobby Porter shooting a 3 right now? Bang.
Yeah, and nailing him. No, you know what? Let me get a little more analytical. Let me not be calling him point man there. Let me not put him in that category. You know who he is? He became what people thought Channing Frye was going to be.
Fact.
For those who know who Channing Frye was, number 8 pick in 2005, played in Arizona.
He was so good at Arizona.
Was drafted by the Knicks. Yes. So if you ever want to come on and test us on trivia, please, I welcome y'all to come on. It'd be awesome. Especially in basketball.
It won't end well.
He was someone that he had nice little stints in Phoenix and New York. Ended up winning a championship in 2016 with the Cavaliers, but he wasn't. His best days were behind him. He'll admit that on his show. That's what Bobby Portis became. Like he was what Channing Frye was supposed to be, and it's just like wow, it's amazing what Coach Bud has got out of him. Personally, I believe he should be starting. I don't know why Brook Lopez came back to start. That's just my opinion. Once again, Brook Lopez has been really good for them. Don't get me wrong. I think whenever we do a show on draft classes in the future, that 08 class has to get looked at a little bit differently. So, Love, Westbrook, Mayo, Derrick Rose, and then Brook Lopez was at 10. And Brook Lopez outlasted a lot of people that came in that draft. Eric Gordon was in that draft. So it's just we gotta look at 08 a little differently, in my opinion, going forward. But that's another podcast on the topic for another day. But yeah, I got Milwaukee coming out of the East. So who do you have coming out?
Bro, first of all, that sounds like a fun podcast. I want to be a part of that whenever it happens.
Yeah, no, you probably put us together. So
Fair. Right. Bro, I can't believe you're doing this to me. Breaking my heart, Rayshawn. Breaking my heart. You picking the Bucks, bro? Picking the Bucks? I'm picking my boys. Listen, I got legit reasons too, because this team, right? All right, so I'm picking them if Rob Williams comes back and can be 85% of what he was during that run. Because we weren't just beating teams, bro. We were beating them into the ground. We had the best defense by far. And I'm talking about the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are winning it, man. They're coming out of the East. The defense, like we always say, travels. And I just think that this team has it, man. We talked about it for an hour with Jared, okay? Which, again, you can listen to over on the 617 podcast. The team culture, the winning attitude. I'm not going to say championship DNA, just so Mike cannot have that in his arsenal again. I'm not fucking saying it. But
Right.
But
that shit's coming.
Listen, so it's funny. So 2 years ago, I said that, right? I meant it then because I thought they had it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't. They didn't.
And nobody hit that shot.
Yeah, they clearly didn't have it then. Okay, they clearly didn't have it. But I think I saw some kind of like fumes coming off of them or something like that. Because now, man, that culture, I'm telling you, when they went out, when everyone's like, man, they should fold, they should do this, they should do that. They didn't just fold, bro. They came out and said emphatically, we want fucking Brooklyn. Bring them the fuck on. Because they didn't just win that game by a little bit, take the starters out here. No, they went full 100% and won that game by what, 35? Like, they absolutely dominated that game. They said, we want Brooklyn with a fucking vengeance. And to me, that's just such a culture shift, man. That just tells you that, like, they don't give a fuck. They want this. And I don't know. I just feel it, man. I feel it. I feel that championship DNA running through my veins. I'm just so amped up for playoff basketball, bro.
These big always have you.
I think it's
spaghetti,
bro. I'm telling you. I think it's Celtics Suns in the finals. I
mean, listen. I have green polo shirts on. You can't see it because I'm not standing up. But
just see how fired up I just got. Let's go.
Listen. I want you to be right. I do, but I'm just like how you said. That I forget what team says not getting enough time. Oh, you said that Miami's not getting talked about enough. Milwaukee's not getting talked about enough. And I think it's because they kind of cruised into this postseason. But we've seen when those three want to turn it on, especially Middleton, because Middleton to me he's the barometer. When he's on, and once again, as Celtics fans, we've seen that shit. Like, he turned this to MJ against Boston. So
if Middleton scores more than 30, you don't have a chance against them, right?
Honestly, 20.
20? Okay.
Yeah, I had to get my thing. Giannis gonna get 30. Giannis is gonna get 30. Middleton gets 20 25, and then Drew can get you 20 25 as well. So, and then now, because they're drawing so much attention, it's like, oh, Bobby Portis is open. Oh, Pat Connaughton is open. Oh, Grayson Allen's open. So it's just like, I think their bench is not as good as it was in years past, So I think that's just what it was. But we'll see. But I said I got Milwaukee, you got Boston. But let's just go kind of like rapid fire regular season awards. So go through MVP, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and then sixth man. So for me, MVP, I have Nikola Jokic. Like when you get 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists, 27, 14, and 8. How do you not give him the award after having a better season than he did last year? Like that to me is just unfathomable. Once again, I am a Jokic guy. People, if you listen to the show, you've heard me speak about Jokic before. He checks every box,
all of them,
every box, like. Analytically, not analytically, the man is just, he's on another level. So I got him for MVP. Coach of the Year, Taylor Jenkins, Memphis.
They already announced this, right?
Coach maybe it did. I don't know.
I think it did, but keep going. No, keep going.
Maybe it did. Yeah. So I had Taylor Jenkins. So once again, I know we talked about how, so everyone to get votes, it was wild. But yeah, Taylor Jenkins to me, if he didn't win it, he should have won it, whatever, in my opinion. He's been awesome all season. Rookie of the Year. This is hard, but the thing is really not. Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, we just talked about it, bro.
Scotty Barnes should be the. I mean, people want to go Cade, Evan Mobley. I get it, but going with Scotty Barnes. Defensive Player of the Year is Marcus Smart. If it wasn't him, it should have been Time Lord, but we'll get to that. And then sixth man. I mean, listen, it's got to be Tyler Hero. Like this, there's no other person that's been as great as Tyler Hero from the bench this year. He deserves it. Walking away, like this should be no other Tyler Hero is the sixth man of the year.
I hear you. Well, I'll get to that in a second. MVP, it is. So it comes down to Jokic. It comes down to Embiid. You know what's great though? You know who's in that conversation now? You know who's entered the MVP chat? Our man Jason Tatum. He's going to get some votes. That is 100% a fact. Jason Tatum is going to get MVP votes.
They're going to say he came on too late, though.
I know. He's going to get votes, and that makes me happy inside. And Luka and Giannis. I'm going to go Giannis, bro, because that last week, I texted you about this. 2 games in a row, I think he put himself at the top spot, in my opinion. He had the best block I've seen almost all year to win a game. And then this motherfucker comes out like he is James Harden and Steph Curry and hits a step back 3 to win a game the next. Bro, if there's nothing more MVP about a center who's 7'2" hitting a step back 3 to win a game, the game after rejecting Joel Embiid, his other MVP candidate, I don't know what it is. I go Giannis. I go Giannis MVP. What do we have next?
So the MVP is the coach of the year.
Coach of the year. So they did already announce that it was Monty Williams from Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is okay.
I support it.
Okay.
I support it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's when they picked, the Bully Green from the Pelicans, like that had been a joke. But
he got more votes. He got more votes than me. I'm not gonna go into it.
Which is wild.
Blasphemous. Blasphemous. 6th man of the year. I'm gonna go with you. It's Harrow. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about that. No one makes a bigger impact off the bench than he does. It's not even close. Not even close. He should be starting. It's one of those where like he comes in 2 minutes into the game. And lastly, where'd it go?
So you got rookie of the year in the
rookie. Oh, bro. Yeah, no, we just talked about it. Scotty Barnes.
So you were I didn't know.
Yeah, Scotty Barnes is the rookie of the year. Listen, Cade's awesome. He was awesome this year. But Scotty Barnes makes an impact on a winning team. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, I know that can't be brought into account with rookie of the year, but
look out for Detroit next year, though.
I agree. We talked about this, bro.
Yeah, look out for Detroit, because when Bagley's been awesome.
They
got some guys over there that are going to be, they'll be okay.
Yeah, so the Detroit you see against the Celtics, the Detroit you see against, honestly, it's against all the best teams in the NBA, right? They faced one of the better teams in the NBA. They look good. Those Celtics games, right? The Celtics didn't look bad. Detroit looked good. You know what I mean? It was one of those where Detroit, Cade played great. Sadiq Bey played great. Like, they got some guys, so I agree with you there. But yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all. That's it. And I just want to say, Celtics should go to the fucking finals. Listen to 607 podcast, and I'll tell you what.
Right, and hey, you heard it here first. So that's for the real PK Bob Kelly. I'm Hollywood Ray. This has been another episode of Listen to the Point. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Let's go. Oh wait, hey, my bad. Stop recording. How do I stop?
Miles, are you ready to record our promo for Season 2 of the Wanna Bet podcast?
David, have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Miles, we're not here to quote lines from Airplane. We're here to tell people that Season 2 starts August 18th.
But I like Airplane.
I know you do, but Wanna Bet is a sports betting podcast. Each week we bet $1,000 on the NFL teams and games that we love.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It is fun. And last year you picked over 60% of your games correctly.
How'd you do?
We're not talking about that. We are telling people that they can find us every Friday. So no more movie quotes.
Roger.
Electricast. Hey there, fabulous souls. I'm Stephanie Baklaan.
And I'm Eden Alpert.
And we're the hosts of the brand new podcast, Unapologetically Fab.
Get ready to join us on an amazing and real journey as we dive into life after 40 and own it.
We're all about changing the narrative, leaning into who you are, and living a life by your own design.
Join us as we embrace life unapologetically and redefine success.
This is Unapologetically Fab,
an Electricast production.
See you there.